Well, for good or ill, the news broke earlier this week after decades of exploitation, inspiration, and homage by lesser but nevertheless instantly successful fucking franchises. The fantasy anti-hero that started it all, Elric of Melniboné, will brandish his soul-stealing demon blade, wipe the girlfriend gore off his pommel, and embark on by far his most perilous trek of all, television in 2019. Look, Elric is an icon, a somewhat fucking forgotten icon, but hey, so was Iron Man till 2008. Don't count an albino blood emperor out. And just because the public has the long-term memory of Reagan after a 12-round punch-up with Floyd Merriweather doesn't mean Elric's iconic status never happened. Between Blue Oyster Cult and Hawkwind concept albums, the latter of which even featured Elric author Michael Moorcock as an onstage narrator, Elric's image on an album cover is de-seeded more marijuana than all the pepper grinders in suburban Colorado combined. Never mind metal at large. From Motorhead to Metallica to Diamond Head, Kirith Ungol, Grand Magus, Deep Purple, Blind Guardian, Tigers of Pantang, who are literally named after Elric characters, and on and on and on, with at least one Elric novel being dedicated outright to Lemmy of fucking Motorhead.
We got here. Ah, yes. Michael Moorplots, yes. Michael Moorcock, unfortunate name, but we won't dwell on that on family TV, will we? He's a very good author, actually. He used to come on stage with us when I was with Hawkwind and read poetry that you couldn't hear because he was so nervous. He read it too fast, and he would sound like that. But people said, wow, he's cosmic. And no doubt he still is.
There was even almost an animated film by Wendy Pini of ElfQuest comic fame, a half-dozen shit-can cinematic adaptations. Indeed, perusing the list of canceled Elric projects reveals more eraser marks than Taylor Swift's algebra final. And frankly, folks, I sort of kind of saw this coming. In or around February, it was revealed that fellow Moorcock creation and eternal champion Hawkmoon would be made into a BBC television series, leading to the inevitable question, if such an obscure side character is scoring a show on the Cockney Pravda network, it stands to reason his most enduring creation, Elric, could not be far the fuck behind. Although it's also eminently revealing that unlike Hawkmoon, the BBC wasn't attached to this announcement, suggesting they either have a venue in mind, and it ain't the Bolshevik Bullshit Corporation, or they're looking to shop this shit around and score a solid payday thereby. Something every article I've read to this point appears to suggest they actually are. And that's a good call, frankly. With Netflix in free fall, Amazon in ascent, and Disney Plus making half the fucking planet forget that Disney instructed their ABC surrogate to bury the Epstein story in all of a fucking evening. Friendly reminder, we deserve the country we're fucking stuck with, folks. It's both canny and circumspect to keep one's options open and go with the partner that'll pay to do it right. Amazon in particular may be motivated at this point, given that they savagely shit-canned a Conan series late last year, and who better to pick up the bit than the anti-Conan, Elric. Though with what's sounding like a woke Lord of the Rings series on the horizon, they may not be up for dueling fucking fantasy shows at present. And while many are already preloading their preparatory eye roll for the inevitable pausing of this project, maybe it's because I'm softening with age or because I just shot enough Thorazine to drop a rhino, but I'm actually somewhat optimistic, folks. Look, the creative team gives me the goddamn dry heaves and no mistake. The Walking Dead and Star Trek Discovery are far from the fucking apex of television media, but in the words of Saul Starr of Deadwood, if money had to be cleaned before it was recirculated, we'd still be living in fucking caves. Looking for a red-pilled patriot in Hollywood is like finding a designated driver in the Black Veil Bride's locker room. I'm under no illusion about who's allowed to make the shit we watch, folks. I look at Vaughn Wilmot and Glenn Mazzara, and I could literally see the dog shit fumes coming off these chiclet-brain, hipster-goggled fucking Morlocks. That said, just because they smell like it, don't mean it's dog shit by default. Michael Moorcock himself was such a hippie, even his hair was made of hemp, and he still shat out a delightfully un-PC parable of misguided noble intentions and their effects on those around you and being perpetually fucked by fate. Maybe because so much of his other work was patently political, it seemed like Elric was usually spared the self-same fate, more often a vehicle for adolescent angst and issues of order versus chaos and Alan Moore-esque excursions into the crack of his own ass. As for who should play the Pale Duke, a varied conglomeration of qualities is called for. On the one hand, a drug-addled, effeminate, and ageless quality, Melniboneans or near elves after all, and on the other, a world-weary mercenary aspect, someone who wouldn't be out of place in an action sequence, pulling a bastard sword free of an ally's fucking sternum and shrieking the words, "Blood and souls for fucking Ariok!" Tom Hiddleston might fit the bill. Orlando Bloom could take a break from beating Bieber's ass and inventing a Dewey Decimal System to keep track of Katy Perry's personalities, and perhaps fucking star in something for a change. Someone on Twitter suggested Tilda Swinton, though I'm not sure I could see Elric being played by a punctuation mark. And as for the naysayers, look at it this way. Even if it's the watery shooting shits, it's still a net positive. If nothing else, it'll be nice to type the name Elric into a streaming service search bar without being assaulted by a wall of saucer-eyed animu waifs. But enough about Terengell's weekends. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.